The PCA Community Center, located in Eastleigh, is in the business of changing the young lives that have been forgotten by the society. It was established 58 years ago by the United Presbyterian Church of Northern India's missionary, Reverend Dean Dayal, who wanted to help the less fortunate Indians residing there at the time. Over the years, however, the Indian community has relocated to other estates, leaving the center to change its focus to the neighboring Mathare slum, extending to the less fortunate community members from Huruma, Kariobangi and Dandora.
As a result of this, the institution now moved their focus from looking into the interest of the Indians and now looking into the interest of the local residences, and in particular, those that were from Mathare slums.
Gradually, the immigrants' numbers kept increasing in Eastleigh, which makes the largest population today. The Somali, followed by Oromo, are the leading resident communities, with a significant section of them being political refugees from Somalia.
Education was seen to be very paramount in terms of empowering the community members from Mathare slums, and for that reason, then there was a need now to begin projects that would promote education. And one of the projects is now the pcea Reverend Kareri Primary School.
The shift in demographic constitution has been reflected within the community center, which now caters for both Christian and Muslim children in need indiscriminately. This center is comprised of a primary school, a girls' secondary school, and a vocational training facility, all of which have both Muslim and Christian children learning together. A considerable number of children in the community center are refugees and had not had basic education prior to joining the institution. The others are usually former street children rescued from the streets of Nairobi and those residing in informal settlements around the city.
We have received some of the pupils from the street families who have joined us, and it is our role to integrate them with other pupils in the school. Number one, what we are doing to help these pupils is that, one, after coming to school, we give them a room. They have a place where they can have shelter. We talk to them, we offer guidance and counseling before we take them to class. We find that when we are having guidance counseling and interrogating them, we find that most of these pupils, not that they don't have their parents, or they were chased away from their parents or from their homes, but we find that most of them their parents are alive, they have their homes. Only the thing that have made them to be in the street is that there were quarrels in their homes. There were quarrels in their homes, and this one made them to move away from their homes to go to the streets. Most of them, maybe they were going to school, as majority were telling me they were in school even in January this year. They were going to school, but because of the kind of love that they are lacking in their homes, they decided to be in the streets.
That being said, it is presumable that most of the children have been exposed to very harsh and inhumane conditions and might be predisposed to psychological traumas and even physical abuse.
Kuja hapa nimeona manufaa kwa sababu kwa tao tulikuwa tunalala nje na tulikuwa tunapigwa na watu wengine, lakini tulipokuja hapa tunalala sahi kwa nyumba na mpaka chakula tunapewa na manguo na tunaoga.
At first when they come, you will outwardly see them still in that life they had in the streets, in terms of they have the dirty clothes, they're not still well mannered in terms of how they approach people, how they talk to people. But we have to accept them as they are, since our intention is to have them change from the life they used to live in the street and move to a little bit better life than what they had in the street. So they'll come in tattered clothes, some still with their drugs, but we'll still take them in. Yeah.
At the core of the problem is the issue of peace. In one way or another, these children are victims of circumstances that are aligned with the absence of peace either at a family or political level. The question then is who is responsible for maintaining peace on all the different societal levels, and should there be a discussion on the relationship between peace and education?
There raise a need to ensure that our education systems within the country are really equipping children, equipping youth with the necessary knowledge, with the necessary skills that can promote peace. For example, when children come into class, what do they learn? First of all, do we understand where they are coming from? Do we understand that they are probably coming from families where there are some conflicts? Do we understand that they are coming in class while they are traumatized, suffering loss of parents, suffering loss of family members, suffering loss of property, based with where they are coming from?
The government, in its wisdom, has tried to mitigate the problem in a number of ways, including cultivating partnerships with organizations such as the Center.
Our mandate broadly is to coordinate rescue, rehabilitation, and the integration of street families. Now that there's the trust fund, we don't have institutions like in the education sector. What we do, we partner with institutions. We have quite a good number of institutions we partner with, nearly up to around 40. And pcea is one of the institutions which we partner with. Now, why we partner with these institutions is to do for us the rescue, rehabilitation, and integration. Then we support them from the trust fund.
Now, as an organization, we are moving these full throttle and saying we would want to see the streets of Nairobi, the streets of all cities in Kenya are free from street families. And this one, we are doing it very well with the Ministry of Devolution through the Street Family Rehabilitation Trust program.
The center has a pottery workshop that makes a wide variety of dinnerware that are sold as a means to generate income to help sustain the institution. In pottery, the artisan works with raw clay and molds it into a useful and appealing end product. Accordingly, the center emulates this approach. The teachers and trainers embrace these children with troubled pasts, gradually guiding them into better versions of themselves.
Najua kila kitu, naweza soma, naweza andika, naweza ongelesha watu Kiswahili. So my life has changed.
There is a need now to look into what system of education, what curriculum will be able to really take care of these children.
Yes, my life has changed in this management since I have friends to talk to, teachers are friendly, the environment is also welcoming to us.
And now when they come into class, who will help them? Which system of education? What curriculum inputs will be able to help these children appreciate life so that they can be able to adjust?
The main objective of this school was to give the girl child education, whereby the sponsors came with the idea of taking the students from the marginalized society, especially slums, and due to the unstable families. The girls who were enrolled in this school have shown a lot of competence in the academics, in addition to also their curricular activities.
I am an orphan. Ninaishi na shosho wangu. Shosho wangu hakuwa na pesa ya secondary. Kama sio shule, sasa ningekuwa natembea na bad companies. Sana shukuru shule kwa kufanya nikawezesha kusoma.
My main job here is to cook for the street children who actually came here like 3 months ago. And I'm also a beneficiary of the same project because earlier before I came here, I was also a victim of the same, and I was helped to come here and I studied here. I was a trainee here. Then after that, I've benefited.
Whenever they come from the street and get into our center, we try to talk to them, giving them some psychosocial support in terms of counseling so that they're able to accept themselves the way they are and fit into our system, which takes a little bit of time. So maybe if we get a kid from the street, it takes some time before we enroll them to any of the programs that we have around. So after we have taken them through these counseling sessions and interaction and them getting used into the environment, that is when we enroll them into training. Now when we take them into the training, our training approach is designed to have 90% of practicals and 10% of theory.
I keep my teaching very simple. We just start with the basics and we encourage them to be able to do everything from the preparation of the food to serving visitors in a restaurant-like setup and actually going out and getting customers who they will serve. So that will also involve the sales aspect of the whole process.
Both in class and outside, they are taught how to relate with each other respectfully, as well as appreciate each other's differences, whether religious, tribal, gender, age, among others.
In PCA Christian Girls High School, we get the chance to mix with Christians, and it also builds us and it makes us courageous and also friends. There is no discrimination of people or religion. We get our chance to worship our gods, our different gods, and that's the best thing PCA Christian Girls can give us.
إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب أليم.
The center grapples with significant challenges that inhibit its full potential to impact the community on a wider scale. Infrastructure is a key concern alongside other amenities such as better accommodation facilities, playgrounds, access to constructive entertainment platforms, just to mention a few.
We are facing quite a number of challenges. One is in terms of finances. This calls upon mobilizing resources, financial resources, to take care of all the needs that are required for the interventions that we are employing within our development work within the center. For example, when these children come here, the need for medical services is a requirement. Food, and already we know the cost of food is relatively high. Clothing, and also supporting them in education, because again we don't want them to come and stay idle within the center. Again, the population is growing, so the need now to have adequate finances to take care of this is paramount.
We have not had the best accommodation facilities for them. We really look forward to get assistance into ensuring that we have the best accommodation facilities for them in terms of them getting good beds, getting good washrooms. The ones that we have around are not sufficient for their use, and then again we need some more space for them to stay, like now them having a dining room, a TV room, a social room where they could do their homeworks and all that at night. Then we also need facilitation in terms of getting somebody who can be with them throughout their stay here, maybe to guide them in the social cycle support, which we do during the day, and maybe at night we have issues that come out. They need somebody who will be there with them, so we look forward for facilitation to the same.
My name is Tabitha Nduta, and I'm from PCA Christian Girls High School. I'm 15 years old. I'm in Form 1, and I have been here since January 2017 until now. I would say I like more textbooks, exercise books, and also a lab and a library.
Another major challenge is the radicalization of children and youth, which thrives by virtue of these boys and girls being victims of neglect and reckless abandonment.
These issues of terrorism and radicalization will thrive so well whenever we ignore these street children.
The street families pose a very serious security risk. And you realize that street children being vulnerable, sometimes having no livelihood, they can also be exposed to being radicalized, where they can be radicalized very easily because, of course, they have nothing to lose. They are suffering in the street. So if they are promised better life elsewhere, of course, they will be very prone to being taken up and be recruited and trained as terrorists.
Despite the various challenges affecting the smooth running of the center, there are quite a number of positive achievements that can be cited. Speaking with Ruben, Joseph, and Catherine, there is no doubt in their mind that the future is bright, consequent of what they have learned here at the PCA Eastleigh Community Center.
You are trained on practical things, also in learning also. So when you are out there, you are able to express yourself. For instance, here in catering, when you go out, you are able to relate and to do things which actually the community offers. For example, cooking, serving, you are able to do and to do great things when you are out there.
I'm Miss Catherine Kuria. Time nilikam hapa sikuwa najua equipments zingine like kushuka, na for the few weeks nimekuwa hapa, naweza sema nimelearn at least something, kushuka kiasi, kuset mtu, kunyoa, at least niko na knowledge kidogo. Nikimaliza I can set up my own parlor, or I can either be employed, can work as a tutor.
You know, when I live here, I can have the enough skills to do my own job, open my own job, and get skills, and get enriched, and then continue with my life, assist my family, and then the life goes.
Venye nimekuja shule, nimekuwa different sana. Yani siwezi jikompea nao madams wengine. Yani hata sikuwa naweza kujua kama naweza fika secondary. Sasa nimefika secondary, niko tu poa sana.
It is, however, no easy task. There is an immediate necessity to engage on a multi-sectoral level to find even better avenues to rescue these children and support them.
It's very, very important that we make sure that these children get out of the streets. Otherwise, it will be a scenario that any nation will not be able to handle. It will be a situation that will bring down all forms of governance if allowed to thrive. And this one now calls upon each and every prayer to become party to this, support fully, and also speak about it, and in any way possible, fight it.
It is vital to take note that the nation will have a better future if young people can be molded into productive and dependable citizens.